There we go. Testing. Good thing we didn't have anybody in here just yet when my mic was muted. Hey, y'all. Looks like we're getting a couple of people in here to hang out with Millennial Ross for a little paint and chat. I am going to do a landscape just kind of from imagination. Like Bob Ross always said, we can create our own world. Happy little trees, happy little accidents. There would be no GRB in our world. For y'all, I see a few of you listening. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. Hey, Brittany. Hey, my Michelle. Can you hear me all right? Hey, Triple Eight. Yeah, Millennial Russ today. I actually, little man, little Johnny Kitten. Got a shirt with a pocket, and I was gonna try and stick him in my pocket, like Bob Ross always had a little squirrel in his pocket. But Johnny didn't want nothing to do with that, so I didn't want to stress him out just for the content. Remind me of Jessica Biel and Candy with that wig. Nice. I'll take that. Jessica Biel's gorgeous. Well, I'm gonna get started, friends. Just chat amongst yourselves and I will check in here. But like I said, I'm just gonna do a little chill landscape, kind of go with memory and stuff like that. I'll be thinking kind of like back when I was growing up in the Ozarks. If you were on a ridge top over the hollers in the morning, the creeks and the rivers always had a lot of fog coming up off over them. And there would be amazing sunrises and sunsets because you got these beautiful rising hills and water down below. And then the sun would just kind of catch the fog. It made it look like fire coming up. It was crazy. But yeah, I don't know exactly where all I'm going to go with this painting. I just wanted to kind of do something relaxing and chill. Hey, everybody. I hope all y'all are having good days. Hey, Rachel, Mozzie, Joe Mama. Trying to find the specific brush I'm looking for here. There it is. It was eluding me. Put this canvas up a little closer. There we go. Oh, wow. Do you live near water, SD? Said the fog was so thick this morning. I'm having mimosas, friends. I don't think Bob Ross ever did that on his show. And start with some ground over here that will be kind of rising up with some trees, and we're going to have a little water down here. Little ground and tree over here, and then sunset scene all through here. Oh no, Mozzie AG, it's your birthday and she is sick in bed with COVID. I am so sorry. That sucks. Well, you just picture yourself in our little millennial Russ world where there's no COVID, there's no Gypsy Rose Blanchard, there's just happy little trees. I'll go back and add more tree detail to this after I get this part covered in. I love happy little trees too. Bob Ross. My great grandma always watched him when I was little, and she babysat me. And she's actually the person who taught me to paint. She took painting classes from a lady named Dorothy Dent, who is relatively famous in the American Decorative Painters Association in the 80s. After grandma took some classes from her, she always kind of taught me how to do some little things as she was babysitting me, and then I figured out more on my own as I got older. Got access to YouTube, that helped. You're welcome, Mozzie. Hey, Sam. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Brandy K. Shout out, my mom's gone 5 years, May 1st. Today would have been her 66th birthday. Love and miss you, Mom. Oh, shout out to Brandy's mom. Gone too soon. Okay, we got kind of our. Oh, cool, Mozzie. Your grandma did Bob Ross paintings. That's awesome. Bob Ross give so many people a lot of joy and satisfaction from teaching them how to do the hobby. Get a little highlight on those. Hey, Julia. Thank you. I'm being millennial Ross today. Doing happy little trees. Oh, yeah, Brandy, dementia is absolutely ruthless. That's a rough, rough one to deal with for the loved ones and the caretakers. Dementia is terrible. Okay, let me get in a little baseline. Thank you, Brie. Let me get in a little baseline of our water here. I don't want to make it too blue looking. That's not realistic, but we need a little bit of water sheen to it. What will really make it look like water is not the water texture, but when we add the reflections of the trees afterwards. You got to get the base in before you can get the detail. At least with the way I paint. Some people paint different ways and they do like all full detail immediate at once, and I find it really cool, but it's just not ever been my way, my ability. I do it with like building blocks at a time. And blend the water edges with the greenery. I almost said foliage, but that reminds us of you know who, y'all. Brady, I'm not sure I'll be able to get to reflection today. I'm trying to do it with thin paint so I could go further with detail before I have to stop and let a layer dry, but we will see. Okay. Bruce is when you make sure when you say white, you put the emphasis on white. Are we smoking yet? I actually smoked a little bit right before I come on, but I will be having a smoke break. Y'all know me well enough to know that. But I want to get the cool sunset sky started. I need to grab a few colors here. I am having mimosas. So I need some red, yellow, and orange. Here I've got cadmium red. I've got my white out already. Here's the yellow. It's a lemon yellow. And where did my orange go? Well, I guess I can make that. I can mix them. Here's some cad yellow light. I'm gonna add some of that with the lemon because the two different shades of yellow will add a nice texture, you know. So you can barely see the difference in those two shades of yellow, but there is one. Thank you, Julia. Hey, Jelly. There's one more I wanted, if I can just find it. That's cad red. Give us another red hue to work with. When you're working with oil paints, hey Ruth, Brandy, I got it from Amazon. I just looked up a Bob Ross wig. Um, when you're working with oil paints, you only need a little bit at a time usually if you're not doing a really massive canvas. And so because of that, the same tube of paint can last you until the tube starts disintegrating like this, and then you get paint all over again. Jay Ruffalo, I'm smacked, ate an edible, now gonna attempt to bake an apple pie. Oh my. I thought about having an edible before this, but I was afraid I'd end up like forgetting that I'm live and then just sitting here painting and ignoring y'all by accident. Oh, sorry, friends. I'm gonna have to step away for a minute and wash this paint off my hands. I don't like to keep the cadmium on my hands too long. I'll be right back. I'm back, friends. Brandy says, I want a pint-sized little fur ball to just jump up and start painting. I wouldn't have put it past Dave to try. Okay, so I am going to get the base of the sky in and then have a smoke break. Hey, Lizbeth and Carrie. Let's see, I have a big tube of white oil paint because I use so much white. Yep, 3 indoor cats, Brandy. Little Johnny made the third because I lost my sweet Bella after having her for 19 years. She died in January. I was not okay. Well, crap. That white's not wanting to come out. Get the smaller white. Thank you, Stacy. Yeah, it was rough, but I'm glad that she's not in pain because she was 19 years old and there the last. She wasn't doing very good. I miss her all the time. Okay, I love doing bright sunsets, y'all. It's just one of my favorite things. Get some cloud swoopies in there. Yeah, 19 years. We were. I felt really good when the vet told me that the medical problems she had there at the last that most cats usually get at 15 or 17. So she did real good for a long time. She had a good life. Now I will tone down that yellow a bit so it's not so garish, but I want that for my background tone. The Ozarks, it is a mountain range, but the Ozarks is one of the oldest mountain ranges in existence. And so the peaks aren't high, they're eroded over time because whenever America, like the plate that is America now, was being formed, the Ozarks formed up peaks way before like the Rockies and all that. So they were eroded way, way earlier. That's why they're so much lower. And people who are used to mountain ranges like the Rockies and Olympics and stuff like that, they come to the Ozarks and they're like, what are you even talking about? These are hills. But geographically, it is a mountain range. This technique I'm doing here, I always called it just scrubbing your brush around to soften the edges. I was shocked when a friend of mine who went to an Italian art school, we were FaceTiming painting together one day and she saw me doing that. And she's like, oh, you know how to scumble. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, scumbling. That's what they call that Da Vinci technique. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was just brushing the brush around to soften the edge. But yeah, it was nice to realize that some of the things that I come up with by trial and error, some of the things my great grandma taught me, even with her lack of training, turn out to be real art techniques. So it's just, artists, people of different crafts just kind of figure things out, as they go, because you're trying to accomplish the same thing, a quality craft. It was kind of a ramble. Y'all are probably like, duh, millennial. Oh no. He threw out some oil paint, 30 years old. Well, at that age, I bet like kind of like the bottle I showed, they were probably starting to crumble. What kind of project is he starting, Flower Power, if you want to share? Oh, cool. Another painting of horse and buffalo. Yes, Ruth, happy little scumbles. McKenzie Falls State Pilot. Dinosaur footprints. Wow. You can walk in a dormant volcano? Holy hell, that'd be crazy. How cool. I really enjoyed Colorado whenever we were out there for CrimeCon. I'd never been there before. And first off, it was really nice because I had gotten afraid because my ears were giving me problems. I got afraid. I was like, oh no, did I make a mistake? Am I just going to be miserable the whole time because of the elevation, it being mile high? And I was very pleasantly surprised to find that my ears actually felt better while I was there. And when I looked it up in Google, I found out that yes, some people with eustachian tube dysfunction, which is like what I have, actually their ears function better sometimes at elevated pressure levels because the elevated pressure actually kind of opens the eustachian tube, which with the dysfunction, that's always the problem. You're always trying to get them to open. They don't want to do that. Okay, I'm gonna let that kind of tack up for just a bit and have a smoke break. Thank you, Brandy. Oh yeah, I bet it is, Ruth. Good to see your husband painting again. I'm sorry, Flower Power, not Ruth. I looked at the wrong name there. My bad. Thank you, Brandy. Yeah, my art does tend to look a lot better in person than it does on video or pictures. I've been selling art in galleries for, 15 years now, and everyone says that. Everyone that it just looks so much better and different. And I've tried all the different ways in the world to photograph it better. I paid hundreds of dollars in St. Louis to take my art to a professional art photographer to see if they could really, capture the detail of it better. And it just, yeah, for some reason, once people see him in person, it's kind of like a whole new world, even if they like the picture and stuff. Thank you, Stacy. Do you have to give another tube put in? There I still have one that hasn't fallen out yet, so I'm gonna wait till that one falls out and then kind of see how they do for a while. And if they start getting bad clogged again, then I'll probably have to get another tube put in. So I'm gonna have a smoke break, then I'll get back to painting. Again, I don't think Bob Ross did this, at least not on camera. Hey, Penelope. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, Brandy can attest to the fact that my art looks different in person because she just got her Aussie painting the other day in the mail. Me too, smartass patriot. Bob was always so soothing to listen to. Yeah, isn't it wild, random Amanda? It's like you can, no matter which way you photograph it, something about photographing paintings with a camera, they just lose something. Thank you, Flower Power. Puff puff give. Oh yeah, I love to garden, Stacy. All kinds of plants and flowers, but they're not my plants aren't doing so great because the deer come in and eat them, and I'm making no effort to keep them away. I love seeing the deer, and we have the little feline coming up. Snakes are doing good. I'm actually gonna get one out today and, film another video for my millennial at midnight. Originally, I was gonna stick to a schedule on that one, but then I realized Sundays are my busiest day. It's really hard to get that in on a Sunday. Oh, yeah, Jules says when she saw Klimp's The Kiss in person, I was so much more impressed than any photo I'd seen of it. Yes, yeah. And, like, aw, thank you, 1970. That's my husband out here gifting memberships. Um, in the St. Louis Art Museum, they've got a really cool, um, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, just a really diverse collection of art from, Rembrandt, some Klimt, Da Vinci, all the way up to Rothko and Picasso and different people like that. And all of them, I find, even the ones whose art isn't particularly my style, all of them, it's just so much more impressive in person. If any of y'all get a chance to go check out a fine art museum in person, definitely go. It's worth it. Dee Dee's painting is still with me, Brandy. No one donated except for me. The deer eat your lilies, Stacy. Yeah, but Feline, she tries all my stuff. And like I said, I'm not interested in keeping her away. So I'm just gonna let her do it. Basically, next year I probably won't, like, I know some things that she ate to where they can't come back anymore. I won't buy those anymore. But the things that she just nibbles down and keeps coming back and are cheap plants, like, that's fine. She can have them. Oh, cool. The New York Museum when you were 14. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Well, I'm gonna add some more drama to the sky, and then once I get the sky to my liking, then I'll add the bigger tree over here in the reflections. I want kind of a loose brush for these clouds because I want the bristles to kind of just drag around and be messy like clouds are sometimes. Do some wispy clouds and some chunky clouds. No, Brandy, they very rarely, the Northern Lights very rarely show up in the Ozarks. Every now and then they do. My cousin saw them one time, but I never have. Now, 1970, he lived in Alaska for I think it was 12 years, and he got to see him all the time, every day. When he first told me, I asked him to see pictures, and he was like, "I it was just so common, I didn't take any." Thank you, Marissa. Yeah, sip and paints are fun. I've done a few of those here for my local people. Maybe we could do a virtual sip and paint, y'all. What do y'all think? Is anybody interested in a virtual sip and paint? Lived in St. Louis all my 45 years and never been to the art museum or art hill when it snows. Oh, Carrie, you gotta go. It's so awesome. The art museum in St. Louis is so amazing. And even like, like my dad, he's a Ozark redneck man. He's not interested in fine art, but he loves going to the art museum. They have a ancient weapons section where like you can see like these super intricate old Swedish guns that have ivory inlaid art all through them and stuff, and old medieval chainmail and all kinds of wild things like that. It's really cool. And it's cool how St. Louis makes it admission free. Now, when I lived there, I'm not sure if it's still the same way. When I lived there, all of us local people had to pay a 1% income tax, and that funded the art museum, the science center, and the zoo. And so that meant that everybody could go for free. And I found that really cool. What happened to Blown Beauty Art? I don't know. I saw on Reddit, I think, that she was doing still doing it on Instagram or Facebook or something, but that her TikTok has been changed back to just Gypsy Rose. Oh, cool. Random Mana says she used to do paint parties in her town. Hey, Dancing with Lexi. I got to meet her whenever I was at CrimeCon. It was awesome. Yeah, Gypsy's always got a new comeback era going on. The constant rebrands. I'm gonna get some yellow up in this right corner. Hey, thank you so much. I felt in the mood to make some happy little trees today. After reading all those crazy emails, y'all. Hey, Sonia. Some more white. You should. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to be muted. My plate did it there. My paint plate. Your chihuahua's watching me paint. Aw, that's so cute. I love it. Yeah, I'm definitely millennial Russ. Brandy thinks I remind her of a grown-up Annie, it's a hard knock life. Okay, let's set these aside to clean. I need a smaller brush. Get the roots down here, this tree going. And those roots kind of cling into the edge there. Need an even thinner brush. Thank you, Joy. Carrie, I left St. Louis for Southern Oklahoma August 2020 when all the galleries and everything was shut down for the pandemic. Made it really hard on me because I had I was still working my regular job then. I retired in January from 19 years in the same job in the financial industry. But I supplemented my income by doing tons of gallery shows in St. Louis. I did Formations in St. Charles. I did the Soulard Art Gallery in Soulard. I did Old Orchard Art Gallery in the West Side or West. Can't think of what it was called, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, Carrie. But, but yeah, a lot of galleries there and shows. And even though I understood, I was personally terrified of the pandemic because at the time we didn't know yet what effect COVID would have on pots. And so I was super worried and I was totally fine with the shutdown and everything, but it did make it really hard because I used all the gallery shows to supplement my income. And that's part of why I ended up moving here to be with 1970. We were planning to move in together anyway. The pandemic just sped it up. Here we go. Not done. I'm just trying to get it to where y'all can see the tree a little better. Hey, Ivona. I was hoping you'd see my TikTok post. I realized I forgot to message you. Oh my gosh, Carrie, you're by the Exotic Arc in Lime. I have a painting that is half done that features the Exotic Arc in Lime because I used to get my rats there and my bunnies for my snakes. No worries, Ivona. I'm glad you're here. I'm Millennial Ross and painting a happy little tree and just kind of doing a scene that comes from mind. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Yeah, that is so cool, Carrie. Thank you, Lavona. Nice. Julie. I love any kind of tree paintings. They're some of my favorites to do. Trees and landscapes. I like doing portraits too, but let's see. Random Amanda said, "What do you think has been your biggest WTF moment going through all the documents you have?" Well, in the emails, I was shocked about a lot of things. um, yeah, I like to roll them big, Brandy. Um, I think the one of the most shocking things in the emails was the fact that Gypsy actually was pay bigging people for money. I'd heard that rumor last year, and I thought it was just a crazy rumor. Your cousin owns a little dental lab across the street from Exotic Arc. How fun! I'll have to get out my painting that includes of the Lime area there that includes Exotic Arc and work on it sometime and let you see. Let me refresh my mimosa, y'all, and then I'll start painting again. Need just a moment here. My orange juice. Me too, Marissa. No, it's not my natural hair, Rachel. I bought a Bob Ross wig off Amazon for this because I thought it would fun to be like, hey y'all, I'm Millennial Ross. Yeah, I've done birds, cats, mountain lions, horses, elephants, dogs, snakes. I've painted about all animals. Okay, we up close again. Let's see if I can get some reflections going in this water. I can do a gentle pull down. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a different technique. That paint's slightly too dry. It's picking up the blue. I'm gonna get some oil, some white, a little bit yellow. Don't worry, all those will clean up. That was a horrible brush to choose for that. Okay, let's get more watery. See, need to probably let it dry up and then do a little more reflections because it's wanting to mix in too much of the blue at the moment. But still, it's giving the water a nice soft look that I'd needed anyway. So nice. No, this is just champagne and orange juice. I didn't throw any vodka in there. That would be wild. Maybe later. Okay, let me find a longer liner brush and then I'm gonna do a little more on this tree. This one needs some bristles cut and then it'll be fine. Sometimes brushes get a few bristles sticking out every which way. Ruth Carroll says if I had a drink, I'd probably fall down. In my college art class, we had to learn how to stretch canvas and had a project taking a famous painting and putting our own twist to it. I did Van Gogh, and well, lol, it's funny. Oh, I bet it is. I'd love to see that flower power. I did a study of just a small corner of the middle section of Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delight triptych. And whenever Amber from Into the Weeds was here visiting, we come in here to record, and that painting's on the wall. And I said, "Oh, that's sorry, that's inappropriate." And she bought it for Laura for her birthday. She has an unboxing video of it on her channel on Into the Weeds. Hey, Sonia, you're not replay yet unless you got to leave. We're still live. But if you got to go to work, we will be on replay later. No worries. Multitasking and making cookies. Awesome. um, Ivona, what I did several years ago, I did a study of a very small part of the middle triptych of Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights. And it's been on my wall. And when Amber was here, she saw it. She loved it. She bought it for Alora for her birthday. Hey, Kathleen, having lunch with us. Awesome. Trim down some more bristles. They're getting crazy again. Yeah, definitely. Send me some pictures. Oh, did you see that one, Ivana? Yep. Mhm. Oh, I sent her a book. I published a book of poetry years ago, and it's under my real name and everything. So that's why she didn't want to show that. And some grass. Ivona, yeah, it's on Amazon. I just can't put a link out public, or the people who don't like me, we all know who they are. They'll know who I am. Oh, thank you, smart ass patriot. Maybe I'll have to see if I can like uh re-release it with a pen name of 1980 or something. Because I trust all y'all here in the chat, but there could be lurkers and bots too, you know? Not bots, but you know what I mean? The FBI. Hey, Buttons. Yeah, you like the Millennial Ross? Hey, Brandy. Yeah, I did take the pictures for it too, and I did the artwork that's in the pictures. That's all artwork that I did to go with the poems. Brandy got a copy with her painting. Thank you, Laura. You like the Millennial Ross look? I know something I've been thinking, y'all, is I might start a website just for 1980 Millennial Commentates where I can put small pieces of my art and, you know, re-release my book under a pen name and stuff like that and have that stuff out there if y'all are interested, and be able to share more of my art with y'all without doxing myself to the bad people, you know? Yeah, definitely. Smartest patriot. Hey, Beth. Aw, thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'll hold this up so you guys can see better. I've been adding like wispy, flowy grass at the bottom. Happy little tree, Laura. Let's see. I think what I want to do is maybe add some more grass over on this side. Trying to get it where I can see. There we go. It's a little better. And then after I add some grass on that side, thank you, Art is Life. Aw, Ivana's little prince is begging to go outside. Nice. Laura has a Bob Ross chia pet too. We'll add some tall stuff growing back here. Because as Bob Ross would say, this is our little world and we can make decisions. Maybe some over here behind the tree too. I think that would look nice. Happy little world. There we go. I love that Art is Life. She says painting is my safe space when I'm most peaceful and happy. Yeah, Brandy said, did he have a chipmunk or a squirrel? Yes, he would put it in his pocket, and I actually got a shirt with a pocket, and I was gonna put little Johnny Helldiver, gonna have him in my pocket for a minute and be like, "Hey, y'all, middle millennial Ross here. Ooh, look what's in my pocket." But he did not like being in there, so I didn't wanna, stress him out for content. Hey, Buttons. No, I'm really just doing like just a nice relaxing sunset by the water scene. Gonna do make the sun a little sunset a little more dramatic, straighten up the water some, and then be about done. I didn't have a deep plan. I just kind of felt like painting today. Oh, Brandy, there's a whole documentary about where Bob Ross's paintings are now, and like he kind of got screwed over by some people and stuff. It was a bad deal. Thank you, Ivona. I don't think he ever actually sold any. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a few years since I watched that documentary, so I can't remember all the details, but it's it was kind of a rough documentary. Where did my weight go? Oh, there it is. Thank you, Alora. Thank you, Buttons. Oh, cool. You're in California. Awesome. So pretty. I like all different kinds of landscapes. I enjoyed it whenever I lived on the Gulf Coast for a little while. Um, I really enjoyed it a lot. It was a just such a completely different landscape than what I was ever used to in the Ozarks. And even though I love the Ozarks and there were things that I missed, um, I just really enjoyed the differentness while I was there. It felt exotic. There we go. Definitely, Ruth. Oh yeah, they are buttons. Growing up there, I didn't fully understand just how beautiful the Ozarks was because I lived there all my life and all my family lived there all our lives. It just seemed so normal to us. But then after I lived other places a while and started realizing, that not everywhere has trees that where the mountaintops and the ridges go orange and yellow fire in the fall and explode pink and white and purple in the spring. And so, yeah, I really came to appreciate it a lot more once I'd lived other places. And kind of get this darker orange and yellow in there rough, and then I will take a brush and kind of smooth it, but I want to get like a mass. Need more yellow. Whoops, there went that brush. It's done for. Bit the dust. My brush came apart, y'all. Oh yeah, you're right, Brandy. Gulf of Mexico water, especially in Biloxi, the Gulf of Mexico water there's an island a few miles offshore, so the water's really brackish. It's not clear, but I still loved it. I enjoyed just the saltwater smell on the beach and all the cool shells that wash in. And oh, Button Bishans, I am I'm not exactly self-taught, but I didn't have any professional lessons either. My great grandma was an artist and she had a few lessons, but was primarily self-taught too. Oh, how cool, Ruth. You moved back in the place you were born in. That has to be like a cool feeling of continuity. I love that. Our family still owns a lot of my grandparents' land and stuff, and it's always nice and cool to be able to just go walk down there on family land for ages. Oh, cool, Ivana. I'll have to send you some that show like my people's areas. I think you would enjoy. think that's about as good as I'm gonna be able to get it without letting it dry up and then coming in again. I wanted to get a little more yellow in there. Let me try just a bit more yellow. Oh, yeah, I bet. Ivana wants to visit her country before her health gets worse. She was born in Czech Republic, right? Formerly Czechoslovakia. I would love to visit that, especially the Moldo River Valley, where my favorite stone comes from, Moldavite. There we go. Now I'm getting that yellow like I wanted it over there. Whoops. At some point, I accidentally drug my brush across the tree limb and messed up one of the tree limbs. See? I gotta fix that now. That won't be hard. Just a little more of that sky color. Soften out the edges there, and then come back in a bit more black. And there we are, good as new. What do y'all think? Like a foggy Halloween somewhere on Earth. Nice. Thank you all. Yeah, I might do a little more to it after this layer dries up, and then I can add more to it without it just mixing with what's already there. Because like right now, when I was trying to get this bright yellow in over here, it wanted to just mix in with what was already there. So yeah, I need to let it dry up a bit, and then I'm gonna come back in with a little more detail, a little more grass, trees, and some water reflections, and a little more sky drama. But that was fun. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go ahead and end the live now so I can get a snack and take my Bob Ross wig off. But I'll probably do another live soon and we'll finish it up after it has a few days to dry. I sell most of them buttons. Thank you, Art is Life. Thank you, Joy, Carrie, Ivona, Brandy, Sam, buttons. Well, have a good day, everybody.